While it's not common to hear, de-essers are used in mastering. Typically, you would use a de-esser when you do still have some sibilant frequencies in the mix you were provided to master. In that case, you would use it as a de-esser trying to suppress the sibilant frequencies. Of course, you would need to be much more careful with the controls of suppressing those sibilant frequencies because the vocal would not be the only thing you have in your signal path. Again, you could use a de-esser to suppress some of the harsh frequencies in the masters. Think of it as another multiband compressor, just works on a specific band. Now for this, I'd usually go for an all-around split band kind of setup, and I would search for the harsh frequencies I want to remove. Now the first and most important thing would be actually recognizing there are some harsh frequencies to remove. If there are not, you need not use this process. You could have it in your chain, not doing anything as such, not applying any range of, attenuation, and just have it there waiting in case you need it, if there is such a thing as like using a preset where you have all the processors you like to use loaded so you don't have to, reach for them every time. But I'd suggest not applying anything unless it's really needed. So let's try to see what kind of a range is annoying here. Is there something harsh we want to remove? And to actually hear only the range I'm searching for, I could go for the audition. Now, do notice that whenever you filter something like this, see, everything sounds whistly and resonant. So we want to stay away from judging things in such a manner, from trying to judge things if they're resonant by, boosting a bell filter on an EQ or filtering something out like this. I think that the range I want, and I hear it, was between 5 and 8, something like that. That range. Something in the high mids. Now, I can hear it when the song is playing anyway. I do not need to filter it out using the audition. Audition is there just for you to make sure that what you heard is what you're actually isolating. And this is just an example I'm trying to give you. So I've isolated which frequency range I want to control. Now I'm going to control how much of it I want to attenuate. First of all, I'm going to attenuate a lot of it just to make sure that that's the frequency range. And you can feel it going away. I'm going to do an extreme version of what I'm going to apply in the end. So let's bypass that and see what it sounds like. Okay, that kills all the transients, of course. A little bit lower. Okay, now this is the range I want to hit. A little bit lower. Like so. But not too much. See that? Not too much. Now I can click on the headphones here and see exactly the parts of the signal that I'm catching with the threshold. Nice. And now I want to control not to affect that too much, because I am killing the transients on my percussions. You see that? Just a tiny bit makes a difference. Nice. So as you're playing with processors like this, as you're trying to hear the difference, the smaller and smaller differences, your brain will attain such a possibility. So it's your neural pathways you're training, okay? Nothing biological is happening to your ears. You're training your brain to hear these differences. And if you don't hear them now, don't sweat it. The more you work, the more you practice, the better your hearing becomes. Of course, always keep your volume low while working. And low in a sense of you can still produce results. But don't overdo it. Don't listen to loud music. Don't go to parties too often without earplugs. Try to protect your hearing as much as possible. I cannot stress this enough. So, as for de-essing during the mastering, it would either be removing the sibilants or trying to remove or control or just specifically reduce the amount of harshness in a certain frequency range. Usually, it's in the upper mids. That is why we use a de-esser, because it is a control, a dynamic control for exactly that range of frequencies.